For more on this, I'm joined by Tony Perkins, who's president of the Family Research Council. So this mayor, Tony, today, she came out, all right, now I want to share with the viewers, now under fire, right, for going, it's fine, she can litigate the issue of, gay rights and lesbian rights, but what she's done now is try to go specifically after the pastors who aren't involved in the lawsuit, saying, tell me everything you've said about gays and lesbians. So under fire for that, she comes out, let's play the soundbite today of what she said.
We're not interested at all in what someone may have preached about me or the GLBT community. It is part of this discovery process.
We're not interested in that. And yet, look at the tweet she sent out. If the 5 pastors used pulpits for politics, their sermons are fair game. Were instructions given on filling out this petition. So which is it, Ms. Mayor?
Well, Megan, it's very clear here. In fact, I talked to the pastors this afternoon. They're fine with anybody listening to their sermons. In fact, but you don't need a subpoena to get their sermons. You can listen to them online. But really, this is not about the sermons. It's not about biblical instruction on the issue of homosexuality. This is about political intimidation. That's what is so chilling about this. Is it's not just the sermons. They can have the sermons, but it's about privileged communication between pastors and members of their church. But this is a bad ordinance. It was a misguided ordinance to begin with. It turned into, it morphed into an attack on voting rights because they gathered 55,000 signatures to put this on the ballot, approved by the secretary of the city, and then the mayor stepped in a very unusual move and invalidated the signature. So now it's mushroomed into an attack on the First Amendment. This mayor is in a heap of trouble in Houston.
Well, now they've come out through their attorney, the city, and they said, well, we dialed it back. We don't necessarily need the sermons. This is being blown up by the other side, they say. Basically, we're just looking for information that is relevant to this lawsuit in which we now find ourselves with those who oppose the ordinance. And if the pastors are preaching from the pulpit, well, they're not allowed to preach politics, and that's federal law.
Look, we hear so much about the separation of church and state, that wall of separation. Look, she has taken a bulldozer to that wall of separation and is now trying to drive into the church and dictate what pastors preach. She is using the bully pulpit to try and silence the pulpits of the churches in Houston. This is unprecedented, and we've been hearing from pastors across the nation. Pastors have the right to speak to the moral issues of the day. And as an ordained minister myself, I would say not only they have a right, but they have an obligation to preach to those issues so that people in their churches know how they should live their lives according to these things. And look, again, she's welcome to have the sermons. In fact, they would love to have her come and sit in their churches and hear them for herself.
Yeah, but the chilling effect that this may be having, and the legal experts who have been asked about this from both the left and the right, as I've read up in the case, say, look, if a group, whether it's the NAACP or it's a religious organization, if they start getting political, they could lose their tax-exempt status. That is a real issue. But that's a federal issue. It's not really an issue for the mayor, hence raising questions about whether this is more about intimidation. I'll give you a quick final word.
Well, you're right. Politics is an election politics. They're preaching about moral issues of the day, and they're free to do that, and she has no right to try to stop them. But look, the pastors are not ashamed of what they've been preaching. She can hear those sermons. This is about intimidation.
As you point out, they're public. Just show up in church on Sunday. You can hear the whole thing. Tony, great to see you.
But there's the offering she might have to put into, so maybe that's why she's not coming.
Sometimes they come around twice, I've noticed lately. Good to see you.